what you have here is 1 pound and 9 ounces of pork chops. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and season it. I have some garlic here. I'm going to put in, and again, it's always based on what you like, but you can start off on what I like, what I'm doing, and after you make it, if you decide that maybe it's a little too much, you can always, that's the great thing about making your own food, you can always tailor it to your own needs. I'm going to go ahead and put in 1 teaspoon of garlic. We like garlic in this house. And then we're going to go ahead and put some Italian dressing in it. I'm kind of low. Hopefully by my next videos I'll have went to the store and, you know, did it. So basically, let me go ahead and put it in. I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon. Let me put a little bit more in because that wasn't quite a full teaspoon. I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. And again, you can put other seasoning as well. This is just what I'm using. And I'm going to go ahead, instead of using onions, I have cut up my own onions. If you don't have onions to cut up, go ahead and put in 1 tablespoon of onions. I'm just going to give it a good toss, mixing it around. But I'm using fresh onions. We like onions. So, and basically you can cut up one medium onion, chop it up, and I had in other videos where I was showing me chopping up the onions. But basically, if you could look over here, this is the onions that I had chopped up. So what I want to do first is I'm going to brown these so I can lock in the flavors. Then I'm going to take them out, and then I'm going to saute the onions, and then I'm going to put the pork chops back in. Let's head over to the stove. And what I did is I put 2 tablespoons of olive oil in. First I heat up the pan for around 3 minutes. After I heat up the pan, I had it on around medium-high. And after 3 minutes I put the olive oil on, and this is what I got. You see how it's moving around? That's perfect. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to put it in. One way to avoid the water that I didn't do, before you put the pork chops in, after you wash them off, pat them dry. There's still water on it, which is why it's sizzling like that. And all I'm doing is browning it. That's all I'm doing. And I have it on high right now. So I'm going to cut it down. I'm putting it on around 6. I'm putting it right on medium on my stove. On my stove. And all I'm doing is waiting for it to brown. And you can like maybe let it go for 2 minutes. And some people say like it'll stick to the pan. So that's not quite brown. If it's sticking, a lot of times what that means is either you didn't put enough oil on, or it's not browned enough. But I got a pretty good pan, so none of it's sticking. But I'm just looking for it to brown so I can lock in the flavors. Okay, I'm about to flip it. So let it go for about 1 minute, or you can even do 2 minutes, depending on your stove and how high you have it. That's pretty brown. I'm going to flip it. Remember, all I'm doing, I'm not cooking it. I'm browning it. That's all. I'm not cooking it yet. Just browning it. Ready? It's been about 2.5 minutes. I'm going to flip it because this is how it's brown. I want to brown a little bit more. Just browning. I'm going to flip it. Ah, that's a nice brown. I like that. And again, you're not cooking it. I'm going to brown it just a little bit more. Push it down. Make sure it's touching the stove, the burner. I'm going to let that brown for 1 minute because I flipped it, I think, a little too early. I'm ready. So what I'm going to do is, it's brown. I'm going to go ahead and put it back in with the raw meat. Because again, remember, this is not cooked. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in here. I'm going to grab the last one that I have, and I'm going to brown this one. And again, remember, this is not cooked, otherwise I will use a new bowl. So I'll be back. I'm just going to go ahead and brown this, and then after that, I'm going to throw in the onions, and I'll show you that. So, this is the last one, so I'll just show you what it looks like. I probably could brown these a little bit more, like this one, brown a little bit more, but it's fine. It's fine. Now this right here is the good stuff. You do not want to throw that away. You do not want to clean it off. Now, if there's too much, if there's a lot of oil, you could pour that out if you want to, but this is so minimal. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it in there. And you could already have your onion cut up, and what I'm going to do is, all that stuff that you see on there is flavor. So I got a heaping cup of onions. I'm going to pour it in. This is basically around a medium onion. And what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to move the onions around and I'm scraping up all the stuff at the bottom. I'm deglazing the pan. And this is a good way to make stock, what I'm doing right now, to make not stock, so much stock, but gravy. Gravy is so good. But I'm just scraping around the pan and I'm getting all this stuff up and it's turning my onions brown, which is marvelous. So I'm getting all that stuff up. And again, I have it on medium heat. And all I'm doing is just getting all the stuff from below off of the pan and onto my onions. This is good flavor here. Good, good stuff. So I'm mixing it around. And I think with what I'm making, I am going to make a little gravy out of this. So what I'm going to do, you could leave it just as is. One thing you could do is just, I'm done deglazing the pan. I could grab my pork chops and put it right in here right now and then cook it for around 15-20 minutes and just check on it and make sure that it's done. And here's what all the stuff looks like plated. And here's the pork chop. That's the pork chop. And then what I'm going to do too is when I make the pork chops, I most time make it with gravy. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you, I'm going to pour some of the gravy so you can see what that looked like on it. And here's smothered with the gravy. But this is the food right here. And if you want to check it out, you can see, I'll post down below the names of the others so you can be able to see how I made the whole meal. The green beans, the canned beans, as well as the dehydrated brown rice. And it took me about 40 minutes to make. Could be less if I'd have planned it better. But there you go. And again, for all of you out there, on behalf of your loved ones, friends, and family, thank you so much for cooking great, delicious food. And going above and beyond for them instead of giving them processed food. Because I know life can be busy. So again, on behalf of them, I just want to say thank you so much.